Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to be talking about this particular art journal, and so far I have been calling it the art journal of healing my ancestral trauma, which is really wordy and inconvenient, but I didn't have a name for it. And I don't know if 100% I'm going to go with this particular name, but I am going to go with Shakti. I do know that. And in my culture in Hinduism, Shakti is the divine feminine principle of creativity, of creation, but it's different than the Western concept in the sense that it's not like it's masculine and feminine and there's a dichotomy. We go beyond that field and we look at a unified field of reality. But that's a whole separate video, which I am not going to go into here. But I pinned this up on my journal on the cover of it because I'm kind of trying it out for size and I'm just going to see how it feels. So what I'm thinking is this is going to be the name, Shakti Rising, but I'm going to add a few more words to it. I don't know. I'm just trying it out right now. So anyways, I generally tend to have some notes pinned on my window in front of me when I talk about, like I'm talking about this journal in the sense of how I'm working in it. So when I talk about like complex kind of ideas, I try to have like some points or some notes to keep me on track, but I don't for this video because I just want to speak from the heart. And so please bear with me if it's going to be all over the place, but you know, this is kind of my creative process. So anyways, this art journal is in various stages of completion. Even the pages that I show you that they might look like they're complete, they're really not complete. So it's a work in progress. And it's become like a catch-all because I've got so much stuff just shoved into the journal, but there's a reason for that. So anyways, I am going to make a separate video about this, but this is intuitive color swatches. So because when I'm working in this journal, I've been doing a lot of other exercises in conjunction with this journal. I'm doing shadow work, I'm doing mirror work, I'm reading and listening to a lot of Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estiz's works, like on a really deep level. I'm doing a lot of journaling, as in just writing. And basically, because I've been conversing with the pages, seeing where the figures want to go, seeing what they want to tell me, what they want to share, how they want to show up, all of these things, I'm just going into such deeper and deeper layers. I came up with this kind of intuitive color swatches. So these are basically, you know, they're not too complicated. So say I have drab or sunflower, fall, bold, midnight. So these are not anything too complicated, but it's an entry point into more complex sorts of ideas and emotions, beliefs, etc., like say betrayal. You know, it might be easy to go, oh, sunflower, that's easy. Okay, it's going to be some form of a yellow, you know, maybe a brownish yellow, maybe a really yellow, whatever. But now when you talk about betrayal, okay, what color is betrayal? Well, that's a lot different now, isn't it? Because, you know, it's complex, you know, it's multi-layered. It might not just be one color. You might need to add some lines to it. You might need to add some texture. So this is a really interesting, informative exercise, and it's just giving me so much information. But like I said, I'm going to be making a whole separate video on this. But such an amazing idea, exercise, and it's allowing me to really go deep into my intuitive self, to really trust myself, to not second guess myself, to not say, well, you know, betrayal should be red. Well, no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's, you know, whatever. My point is, it's allowing me to really hone in on my intuitive self and then to act upon that. To give voice to it, to give space to it. And also another thing about color, and I've talked about this before, is color is so personal, so symbolic, and it has a lot of cultural connotations. And color can convey things that, say, words can't. You know, color just carries so much weight, so much emotion, memories. It conveys so much. And because it's so personal, you know, it might convey a completely different message to one person than to another. So anyways, you guys, I'm sorry about going off on a tangent about this, because this does require its whole other video. But I'm just gonna, you know, flip through and just kind of share a little bit of how I'm working. I am changing a little bit of things here and there. Like, you know, sometimes I might go back and go, oh, I don't like this, and I'm gonna tweak this or whatever. So like I said, all of this is just, you know, basically works in progress. And speaking about, you know, going back and tweaking things, so when I first painted this blue lady, this journal was not even anything about healing my ancestral trauma. So I was actually inspired by Connie Solera's, one of her blue ladies on her Instagram account. So I painted this blue lady, and then, you know, when I realized, oh, this journal is actually about healing my ancestral trauma, blah, blah, blah. So when I came back to it, you know, after a lot of journaling and this and that and the other, I added my Tamil script over here. So this is what I mean about, you know, I am going back, I am tweaking things. I'm, you know, looking at things with fresh eyes. And if something comes up that needs to be adjusted, well, then I'm going to adjust it. You know, I might think something is one way when I'm doing it. And then after, you know, a lot of journaling and mirror work and this and that, I might go, oh, but I thought it was that, but it's not. It's something entirely different. And when I'm open to these figures, you know, talking to me, telling me their stories, telling me how they want to show up, what they want to say. When I'm open to that, when I'm conversing with them, when I'm having an open dialogue with them, then all of these things are becoming easier for me to access. It's really quite magical to me, because I've never worked this way before, not to this level. So it's really exciting, and it's such an intuitive way of working. And it reminds me of Dr. Estes when she talks about the medial woman, which is the woman who is standing at the outskirts of society. So she has one foot in this world, which is the practical world, and then she has another foot in the other world. What is the other world? The other world is the world of dreams and mythology, memories, archetypes, folklore, you know. So when you have your foot in each world, that's where Dr. Estes says you can bring all of these messages, all of the magic. You can bring all of these stories forth, and you can now bring it into this world. You can carry things from this world to that. And it goes both ways, you know. So I'm bringing these stories and archetypes, memories, belief systems, I'm bringing them into this world. I'm bringing them into the physical reality of this art journal. And then, you know, I'm also taking it back into that other world, and I'm healing my ancestry line, which is a really powerful thought. I mean, even me just thinking about it, I could burst into tears. It's really powerful, and I'm understanding archetypal psychology. I'm understanding the work of Dr. Estes in a completely different way. So I made another video about this where I'm using these collages as seeds of inspiration for my color palette over here. And that is also really exciting. I'm so sorry, you guys, but it's really getting dark outside, even though it's, you know, it shouldn't be getting dark, but it's gonna rain. So I'm sorry if the lighting just all went kind of really dull, but it's because the light outside is almost like it went dark in like 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. So I hope that the camera's gonna pick up on the colors and the journal properly. And, you know, I'm just loving so much of the way this is turning out. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened over here. So this lady was on this page with this moon and with this lady as well. And what happened is the page completely fell out of the book. And I think it's because this Fabriano journal, it's a really well-made journal. I bought it in Italy. But I don't think it's made for mixed media, and I do tend to use a lot of water, a lot of paint, and so I think it just like, you know, it's not meant for that. It's a sketchbook, maybe perhaps made for dry media, maybe a little bit of water media. But anyways, because I'm working in collage, looking at collage in different ways, I decided I was going to cut out the figure. And so I just cut out the figure from the page. I cut out the moon, and then I superimposed it onto this page. And this is the page, like this is this Fabriano, this is this page over here, but this figure up to like here, and I cut a straight line over here. So this figure is hot glued. As you can see, it's like hot glued over here. And I really love this look. I just do, where like some of it is very kind of like graphic, you know, it's just like the blank white page and a Stabilo pencil, and this one's got a lot of heavy paint. And yeah, and even the moon I cut out. And I did the same thing with this lady. So I cut that straight line. And if you look at it really closely, I don't know if the camera's going to pick up on it, but you can see that like I superimposed it. So I cut it out and then I hot glued it. But I just like that kind of very graphic, bare bones look. But I just, you know, filled in the rest of the figure. So I'm really just learning so much about looking at collage in different ways, working in different ways with collage. And you guys, this over here, I'm over the moon about, because it is my paper towel. And look at that, how gorgeous it is. I just cut it out and I just glued it. And I am absolutely, most definitely going to be looking at working with this paper towel in so many different ways. I'm so excited about it. So this is my journal thus far. I'm so excited about it. I want to work in it all the time, but you know, like I mentioned before, you know, a month from now I might be like, oh, you know, I don't feel like working in it for a month or 6 months or a year or whatever. The important thing is for me to trust the process. Anyways, you guys, this is how I am working in this particular journal. I don't work like this for every journal. I absolutely do not. I do tend to go in really deep layers in my art journals, but this is the deepest I've ever gone. And of course, it's healing ancestral trauma. So as you can imagine, it's quite a heavy task. But I also have other journals, like say my color journal or my abstract journal, where I'm just exploring like color or abstract compositional elements, etc. So not all of my journals are like so deep. They're not. But I like working like this. I like being deep. It challenges me, and it stretches me, and it inspires me, and it forces me out of my comfort zone. And I just find that I tend to look at things in different ways, and I get so many gifts along the way. One of the gifts is I am getting so many gems of inspiration and understanding the work of Dr. SD's in deeper and deeper and deeper ways. That's just blowing me away. I'm like, how did I not see this before? But now I'm just like, wow, I totally get it. So yeah, anyways, you guys, I'm sorry for all the babbling. I hope I stayed on track, but these are the, you know, this is the germination, the hotbed of ideas, and it's just a constant work in progress. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.